Wow. Wow. Now, a lot of people, well, not a lot, just some people in my comments saying, you stop the video too much. Some of them being disrespectful and saying I chat too much. Two things. One, you guys have to understand something about YouTube. There's something called copyright, right? When you're playing somebody's video, to stay within the guidelines of YouTube, you have to speed up the video and you have to use the music. You hear the beat in the background to stay to stay away from copyright infringement. Years from now, and I've seen this happen to big YouTubers. Years from now, the entity that owns the video can say, "Oh, I did not give you permission to use the video, you know, although you cited fair use," right? And they can flag a bunch of your videos and take away your channel, right? If they want, or try to at least. I remember Abba and Preach had a situation with another group, and they sent in their rebuttal to YouTube, and thankfully they did not lose their channel. However, there has to be some type of intermission between I can't just play out the video 10 minutes. No, there has to be a stoppage and to make that point. So I'm saying to the individuals that have a problem with that, there are other channels you can go and take your watch time there. If you don't like my style, yeah, you have options. And the other thing I will say is that the link to the videos that I'm playing is in the description. So if you want to watch the video without my reaction to it and me stopping it when I choose to, you have that option as well. Good? So please, no more complaining in my comment section. I've made some adjustments, but I will not be responding kindly to any more comments of that type because of what I just explained. And I hope this message gets to each and every one of you that were complaining about somebody talking too much. What do you think I come on YouTube for? And I see some people drop off. I guess those were the people. What do you think I come on YouTube for? To not share. This is called Bolo V&R. It's about my views, my reactions, and my responses to the things that are being said. Alright? So let's just get that categorically clear. Yeah, me chat, they can't chat long. That's why I have a page. If you cannot talk and dialogue, and you just want to play somebody's video and say a little thing, I don't think YouTube is for you. Alright? That's not my style. So if that's the style you like, again, there's many other platforms you can get that. Hey, how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your brother Bolo V&R, and I just wanted to put this out there for my people. Now, Bolo V&R clips, I need my people to go over to this platform, and I need you to sub up for me. Please, 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 please. I need to get to 1,000 subs, y'all, and I need your help. All right? That's one of many platforms I control. The other platform is Bolo V&R. This is also my platform. All right? I need y'all to go sub up to that. If you're already subbed up to Bolo V&R 2.0, then, hey, you here. So, you know what I'm saying? You good. You straight. You just need to sub up to the other two platforms. Now, to donate, the anonymous link, right, and the PayPal direct link is ways for you to donate to the platform. Also, the Zelle. That information is right there. Now, with the Zelle, ladies and gentlemen, what I need from you is I need you to email me, Instagram me, or WhatsApp me the receipt for the Zelle, transaction that you made towards the Zelle. All right. Now, if you want to become a part of the WhatsApp group, the WhatsApp community and the WhatsApp group link is right there, ladies and gentlemen. They work. The Instagram link, the Twitter link, right? They work. That's the Twitter right there. Good. The Instagram, they work. That's the Instagram right there. Follow me on Instagram, right? All right. Evelyn, big up. Walk one. Like and share, guys. Like and share. Link work. See, right there. Boom. All right. So that's the way to go, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to donate to the platform, the anonymous link, I'm gonna fix that. I don't know why. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. There's still a problem, so I'm going to fix that. All right. And my email is right there, right? And yeah, that's about it. So I just need y'all to do me a solid and support all platforms, sub up to all platforms, and look out for different content on all platforms. It's not going to be the same content. All right. So I need y'all support. And shout out to all the new subs. Shout out to all my donators. The Patreon is coming soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll make sure that you look out for that. The aim for each video. Let's go. The aim for each video is 500
Melly
likes.
Man, what's going on, bro?
When I post a video and you see it come up and I got a live coming, this is what I want you to do as supporters of my platform.
Pay attention.
I want you to, let me give you all right. I got a live stream supposed to be up here on Bolo V&R 2.0. Oh man, where is it? Damn, I don't have anything scheduled. Say for instance something is scheduled, right? Say for instance something is scheduled. When you click on it, you're going to see the live chat. I need you to hit the like button immediately and then type something in the chat, even though I'm not live. Trust me, it helps the video. Once you realize that I got something coming up, hit the like button, type in the chat. And the next thing, ladies and gentlemen, share the live. You're not going to donate. This is a free way for you to give solid support to the platform. You feel me? So I need y'all help. With your help, the channel grows. And, you know, hey, that's how it goes, right? And again, for the persons in the comment section, let me see. Let me see if I can find a comment that somebody put that's a question, like I lied or something. Guys, if you're in the comment section, right, and you leave a comment, right, I need you
Talk to him.
If you say I lied about something, I need you to tell me what I lied about and
Give me the timestamp. Exactly.
When you use your phone and you look and you go to the comment section, you click the comment, in the right corner of the comment, you're going to see
Princess Williams,
like
what's up?
Whatever part of the video you are that you want me to address, you click that when you reach that part and type, you lied about this. And then I can click on the timestamp, go back, and I can apologize if I lied and you corrected me. I don't have a big ego, right? If I made a mistake about something, I can apologize, I can address it, and I can correct it. But just saying that I lied on a 3-hour video, what did I lie about? There's so much things I said, right? So please, I'm more than open to you telling me, okay, this is what you lied about, and I can address it. Okay, all right. So yeah, man, support the platform, and welcome, man. Welcome to the platform, man. You heard? Welcome. Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to this particular video you're watching right now. This might be an intro for all of my videos, so definitely need you to like, share, and subscribe. And comment respectfully, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Comment respectfully. It's only right.
Tonight, we are going to witness the most anticipated match in the history of professional wrestling for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Let's go.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Share the live. Are you ready?
Wrestling fans, are you ready?
Are you ready?
For the thousands in attendance,
Thousands.
and the millions watching around the
The
world,
millions watching around the world.
from the capital city of the United States of
Come
America,
on now, talk to them.
Washington, D.C.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies and gentlemen.
let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah. What's going on, YouTube family? What's going on? Welcome everybody in the building. Patrick, Princess Melly Mel. We got Evelyn. We got Ryan Campbell. We got Velma in the building, man. Salute to everybody, man. Hit the like button, share the live. Let's go, man. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the court of public opinion. Man, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. The People's Parliament examination of the IC report of Andrew Holness. My thoughts and my reactions.
What I talk about now is just because him never want nobody talk about in teeth and habit. Look at, listen to this.
The issue has become a political weapon, a political tool.
Listen to this.
Trying to score points with the public. Public is very smart. Public looks out and says,
of course, we're smart.
Look at these people talking now. Look at what they did when they were
Blue, big up.
government. A political tool.
Listen to this.
Trying to score points with the public. Public is very smart. Public looks out and says,
of course, we're smart.
Look at these people talking now. Look at what they did when they were government.
Nobody now said that.
They were the ones asking us not to say anything. And here they are now asking us to say something. We take a position that the law as it is established puts in place a gag clause. I don't like to use the term a gag clause.
Why you put in gag clause?
There is something suspicious or something being hidden.
Of course, something suspicious you try to hide.
It is a protection for due process. That's what it is. If there are any issues, then it is not for persons who don't have the full information or the power to investigate, to adjudicate. And that is why we have placed the power in an entity, in an authority that has the power and the access to the information to investigate and then report to the public. There is cause for concern or there isn't cause for concern. But this business of trying to try people before an investigation is not the due process of our jurisprudence. And
oh, now listen to my talk. I want to listen to my talk. This is my talk. I start it over. Listen how a man will have.
But we didn't even want to hear what I say because this is the court of public opinion. The court of public opinion does not send you to prison. The court of public opinion have the opinion about what is going on. So even if the courts actually are corrupt and not doing the right by the people can go to the ballots after using them own sense and them own reasoning and look at the whole situation and say, yo, something not right.
Something not right, my wisdom warriors. Something is not right.
Tell about them. And under God,
all lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
That means that them they have some kind of criminal activity if they don't like the truth. You see, liar not like truth.
A lot of things in I'm closet when we say at any time now it can get exposed. Listen how a desperate man talk. This is the way a desperate man talk. A man like hang off a straw. So them talk. Just listen how this virgin attack. Like him a fret. Listen.
Of course.
The issue has become a political weapon, a political tool, trying to score points with the public. Public is very smart. Public looks out and say, look at these people talking now. Look at what they did when they were government.
Nobody knows this. At first in a history, me as one Prime Minister of Jamaica have 28 bank accounts.
First.
And I do 4 transactions a day between these 28 bank accounts. Hey, nothing never go like that in Jamaica.
Come on, man. Talk truth, man.
They were the same ones asking us not to say anything. And here they are now asking us to say something.
Of course you have to say something. Remember you come from 56 Cumberland Road. And you just get rich overnight. You end up with, till you end up with a 28 bank account.
That makes sense.
And then I take money from the charity. I buy band. No man, Andrew out of order, brother.
We take a position that the law as it is established puts in place a gag clause.
You put in a
like
gag clause?
The term a gag clause. It seems as if there is something suspicious or something being hidden.
Yeah, you never want to find out, say, you have 28 bank accounts. You never want to find out, say, you have all of these accounts, active company, where you monitor and I make your money. You never want to know them something.
Yeah, well,
but what it is a protection for due process. That's what it is.
A protection because you don't want it to bust out. So we look for it. Remember you come out and tell me say you know like the name call and shame. And Andrew remember this like yesterday. And in an interview you say you don't like the name call and shame. So from them telling me I said brother you know it not gonna be one easy one and it might be like hard not for cracks. And see it play out.
If there are any issues, then it is not for persons who don't have the full information or the power to investigate, to adjudicate. And that is why we have placed...
see it. Same actually tell you why I'm putting it.
No, that's a bullshit. The people have a right to use them common sense and look for all the details and go, why do you want to eliminate the people's power to their own due process of thought? Why you want to do that? Eh? Come on, man. These are his confessions.
He got glad because him now want the public try the case. And that, you know.
Exactly.
Him would have want to do everything in his power to win back this election without this thing bust out.
Yeah.
So he put in the gag claw in hope say things are going to work out for him. But I got news for you with the next video.
I got news for you.
In an entity, in an authority that has the power and the access to the information to investigate and then report to the public, there is cause for concern or there isn't cause for concern. But this business of trying to try people before an investigation is not the due process of our jurisprudence. And, the question is still going to be asked. Are there members of my party who have been written to for this crime of illicit enrichment? My straight answer is that I have asked as far and as wide. I have gotten that response from everyone. But as far as I have been told, no. People have been written to, as the Integrity Commission does almost daily.
So you hear me say people has been written to. And himself, if I talk about him can't come out and say it because him say him don't like the name call and shame. So him say he ask far and wide and him say no. Then him say people has been written to. That's the job of the Integrity Commission for all the right to these thief. You know this name?
But I have not heard of anyone in my political party being written to for this matter of...
What can go so, JP?
What has been done with each person coming out and saying, no, I haven't been written to? Who genuinely can say that they are telling the truth?
Yo, that boy there is skilling up.
Really?
Yeah.
I could have asked and someone could say, no, I haven't been written to. Because they may have not got the letter. The letter may have been sent. So,
alright, this name Conscience.
Yeah, man.
This name Conscience. Because
Conscience
deep down in him heart, him know he talk about something, you know. So this a conscience about him and now. So he might talk some farm away because in conscience about him. You know, just look.
A real talk.
And then they will come to me afterwards and say, I didn't get the letter. In other words, this process is just political gimmickry that the opposition is doing. Let's
wow.
be real.
We're being real. And it's nothing to do with the opposition, nothing.
Wow.
It's just karma gonna catch up on you.
And keep pushing out that narrative.
Twist everything and make it look like it's political.
Yeah.
This is not political, my friend. This is just you and karma catch up on you and your teeth in ways. This don't have nothing to do with PNP. This is just your karma. I can't catch up on you. Don't blame it on PNP.
Exactly.
You can't blame what happened to you now upon PNP. At the bed where you spread, you lie down, you know.
Talk truth.
No PNP, you don't live in your yard. Yeah, your family live in your yard. So the bed where you spread up, it you lie down, you know. This is not political, my friend.
That is it.
You're just guilty and know say thing or bust out and just don't know how to come out and say it because he's not a man, he's a puppy. He's not a man, he's a puppy. If he's a man, you just own up to the thing and then maybe the people that love you because them say, oh, even though you do this, you know, he own up to it. You can guide them find out and he own up to it. You still deny the thing, brother. He's a Judas.
We built this process. They were a part of it. Let us support the process as it is and let it work. We have put several $1 billion into supporting and developing the Integrity Commission since its establishment. It is working.
You put $7 billion in that the system, no boss. How much you put in your account? Funding company. I'm positive me and you put $7 billion in that project. How much you put in your account? If you put $7 million in that project, you know, you're going to multiply by 4 and 4 transactions a day you're doing, my boss.
Everyone agrees there needs to be some refinement. For those people who are lobbying to change the law, I have no challenge with that. Democratic society, please lobby. But let us give context to the debate. The gag clause, as it is being called, is not without its merit. Due process is important.
So,
me not lie still. Me hear Mark Golden talk about the gag thing. And personally, me not agree with him on the gag part. Me know I'm a liar still, but if anybody is under investigation, it should be made public. Now me like what him say about putting it on the putting in the information once it's tabled in the Parliament, putting the information not less than 24 hours on the website so all Jamaicans can read it. Me love that. I absolutely love that. That should be implemented immediately or as soon as possible. But make we give the Prime Minister a reminder of the message from Mr. KD Knight, because before we even get into the other part of this thing.
Last evening I was given what is called a brief. It is not a brief.
Tell them no, man.
It is a fake document, very detailed in nature,
very
clearly well written to the point, and it is the 172-page report of the Integrity Commission.
No, Pat W. You see, anytime you see somebody never guilty or nothing yet, and them never can say them wrong, and even when they have evidence and they lie, they can't say they lie, them always a try to spin one narrative. That is narcissistic behavior. You know? This man is a narcissist, in my opinion. Andrew Holness. I'm see somebody in my comment section that talk about demonize. Demonize what? In my opinion, I want me sick based off of what him say and him actions. Right? Could I be wrong? In my opinion, yes, I could be wrong. But I don't think I am. And a lot of other people seem to share the same opinion that I do. Not saying that that makes our opinions right. But where we are see where you not see and where you are see where we not see, I don't know.
As I read it, and I went through the 172 pages, some things jumped out at me.
All right, listen up. Have you...
No bother with the listen up business, brother. We don't want to hear that. I'm Mr. KD not to come off and not you. Remember good.
One of the things that jumped out was that the allegations investigated and some of the findings made. Could one person have caused these allegations to have surfaced? No. My mind as a lawyer practicing at the criminal bar saw that there were elements of conspiracy in this. And whilst I will not identify the potential conspirators, I will say that in the overall circumstances, the Prime Minister of Jamaica needs to remove himself from the office he now holds, so that the appropriate investigative body can go very deeply into the allegations. And that
this part is key because guess what, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, the body that is supposed to investigate the Prime Minister is a body that the same ministry controls. The government, the Ministry of Finance, the actual Prime Minister controls that government entity. So a government entity that is controlled by the Prime Minister and the government that is ruling supposed to investigate him for possible crimes of illicit enrichment, money laundering, and tax evasion. How in God's green earth, ladies and gentlemen, is that person supposed to be in power while being investigated? This is why he should resign. And it's a damn shame, which we already knew what they were going to do. Right? I'm going to go to this part real quick. Like how we there so. Big up at our fire press. I swear. Because I tell you say, you not safe people. You not safe.
But when you have...
You not safe. Alright? Hold on. Let me just refresh this. We don't want to borrow anything, you know. Atafa Press just dropped that video.
Welcome back again. It's your girl Atafa the Press. Well, my people, vote against motion to support IC.
That part, yeah.
That now go nowhere because when on the block the road, the police and soldiers just come and then just stop all of that and remove the things them. For example, you have Burrito Bank. You can go out and go protest in front of Burrito Bank. Them the things that but yet, attack Prime Minister and Holness. Can you imagine? Government MPs vote against motion to support IC recommendations for investigation into Prime Minister affairs. Two opposition members of Parliament tabled a motion in support of the Integrity Commission's recommendation to refer the investigation into Prime Minister Andrew Holness' statutory declarations to the Financial Investigations Division (FID) during a sitting of the Integrity Commission IC Oversight Committee on Tuesday. All right, my wisdom warriors. The two persons who tabled it, Julian Robinson was the person that tabled the motion and Philip Palwell seconded it. Obviously, we know already, remember say 8 of them, you know? Remember say 8 of them. 8 of them. So we already know, them never dare go send it over to the FID. We already predicted that because the whole of them are support corruption. If Andrew Holness not have anything to hide, why him not make it go over to the FID. Anyway, let me tell you something. Not because they refuse, not because them stop this motion, that means they not gonna go over FID. No. It still can go over to the FID. It's still my wisdom warriors. Remember, so the IC already write to the FID already. You understand? And the FID already have the information. Yeah? So not because the government MP them decide and vote against the motion just because I'm moral. You see all them bullshit here? It shouldn't be like that.
Yes, this is
No
corruption.
oversight committee should consist of no JLP and PNP. It should be an independent body.
Facts.
It should be an independent body, my wisdom warriors. Where is the fairness in this? Where is the fairness in this?
Talk up.
It has come to my attention that over the years, remember them have the IC oversight committee going on for a long time. Every single document that come from the IC and the IC recommend them to do something, they never turn it down. They never ever turn it down. Why them turn this one down? You know, see corruption. Why did they refuse? Why did they refuse, my wisdom warriors? For
anyhow, that was a PMP member. He would have fly through a gate. This is nepotism and cronyism and straight corruption. This is collusion. This is a blatant. This is why I say the individual need to resign. This is a blatant. What you call it? What them call it in a court? Them a block the judicial process. Yeah. This is blatantly what this is.
For it to go over to the FID. Why did they refuse it? Why them vote against it? Because of them Prime Minister.
Exactly.
So this thing what them a do with them, this JLP and PNP oversight committee, is bullshit. It's bullshit.
Guys, hit the like button, please.
You can't believe. This thing is ridiculous. Everall Warmington is supposed to depend this because the last time I checked, the IC asked right to Juliet Holness and asked Everall Warmington be removed from the IC oversight committee.
What you might do for no committee? What? I mean, even understand. I can't depend on that committee there over him. Lord God.
And Juliet Holness deliberately not answer them all up to today, my wisdom warriors. So if this is not corruption, what you call it? If not corruption,
big up.
Julian Robinson came a motion, and just because the JLP is more, them win. Oh, it is nonsense. It is nonsense. It is nonsense. Right now, and Mark Golding just doing own a thing. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Mighty God of Daniel, Mark Golding doing own a parliament right now on. Seriously. Brother. Because this is ridiculous. And you honest know when do is wrong. And you honest know saying use charity money. Do him own personal business and then he turn on and talk about an error. And you honest statutory cannot certified because when the IC asked him for more information and to explain his expenses, he refused to do it. If that was a normal citizen, they might press charges on the backside.
What you mean?
Me give you an example earlier today, in the day, or was it yesterday, about Dwayne Vaz. You see, the DCP pressed charges upon Dwayne Vaz because Dwayne Vaz refused, according to them, according to them, Dwayne Vaz refused to hand in a document or something like that,
Remember that case?
And them press charges. One thing, but look how many things Andrew Holness do, and the DCP said there is not enough evidence.
Exactly.
The DCP said there's not enough evidence.
Come on.
And the whole of them is corrupted because them a defend and them a protect a corrupted man. Jamaica, you can't allow this for slide, you know. You can't allow this for slide. I see Mark Golding do in Parliament, and not one media houses put it out. Not one of them. Not one of them put it out.
One of them not promote it. I don't like. That's crazy, man. Yo, we have like well-thinking Jamaicans. You know, I already see what time it is.
Why? Me don't know. Jamaica, we can't sit down like that. We can't sit down and talk about we are wait for election. Because if Andrew Holness do this, what am I do? God help those who help themselves. So did and I say, oh, we are wait for God help those who help themselves. And if God says we not help ourselves, what do you think I go happen? We have to get up, man. True. We have to get up and do something. Rise up. Mighty God of Daniel, I don't know what is going on. Remember saying, no, if you go protest, I believe we have to go to the police. And something like that. And I have to go to the police first. And I think the police give another go ahead or something like that. Yeah? But my wisdom warriors, me no know. Really and truly. All of these things, all Everall Warmington should even be. This is not fair. You can't have 8 parliamentarians on the IC oversight committee, and 6 out of the 8 a JLP, and 2 a PNP. You see?
That is so corrupt. Yo, there's no scale of justice there. Just think about that.
You know what? It's just because of them Prime Minister.
Claude, big up.
Just because of them Prime Minister, my wisdom warriors. Just because of them Prime Minister. You see them vote against the motion. And guess what Paul was saying? First, he's been there for years and he never see that happen yet. They never yet vote against anything with the IC sent over. They never yet vote against it. Wow. So why them vote against this one? Wow. Because them defend Andrew Holness.
Wow.
Them a defend Andrew Holness and the oversight committee need to dismantle.
True.
The oversight committee need to dismantle Andrew Holness' idea. But special reports to go over to oversight committee when him know say him fling 6 labor right in there only 2 PNP. Jano, there's too much things going on. Too much things. And enough of the media them get buy out. Enough of the media them get buy out my wisdom warriors. So then just assure Andrew Holness. That's it. Because Philip Powell was talking, Julian Robinson talking, and not one news media put out what them did I say? Not one news media.
Dang.
Everybody put out Marlene Malahou, Delroy Chuck. These are the people them put out. Everall Warmington. Nobody no put out where Paul Weller say. Nobody no put out where Julian Robinson was saying. My wisdom warriors, take a look at this.
Final report. It had all the opportunities, the IC had all the opportunities to finalize its position. As I say, go to February 19, a year and a half. The DI submitted a final investigation report 1.5 years ago. And what are you saying now? That the commissioners haven't got a further 1.5 years and submitted this report, they need another period of time for further investigation, Mr. Chairman. No, Mr. Chairman, as far as I'm concerned, the IC is either going to be a competent body to complete its investigation, whether it takes 6 months or 2 or 3 years. But at the end,
Hey, you see what them do? You see what them do? They have done everything to undermine the Integrity Commission. And you can't trust a bunch of thieves. It's somebody in a parliament under investigation by the body. And them are going to rule for the body. You're not going to see that happen. Jamaica is under siege, ladies and gentlemen. Jamaica is under siege. This is very, very serious. When you go watch the rest of the video, I'm not even playing no more. You understand? Big up at our 5 press. Yeah man, big up yourself, mama. Jesus Christ, we in a trouble in Jamaica. We in a trouble. Believe me when me tell you so we in a trouble.
The public will be satisfied that there is no interference at the highest level. And that certainly there is no cover-up. But this calls for detail.
Oh, big up Cotton Edge and big up Sonia Bird. Big up yourself. She said all of them are criminal. Can never trust them. Boy, I never used to have that stark position on the JLP, you know, like I have right now. But the stuff that has been happening in the last year, I have to agree with you. I don't trust not even one member of the JLP, you know. As a person that is an independent mind, I genuinely do not trust one member of the JLP. After this, all of them voting for the man stay in with the report that was given, I don't trust none of them.
Investigation. One jumped out at me too was the way in which the investigation was conducted, where they made reference to the judge's rules. That persons who were interviewed, they were interviewed in accordance with the judge's rules. Now, let me just point out one important aspect of the judge's rules. It is a warning to the person who is being questioned. And it warns the person that you need not say anything. But anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be used in evidence against you. And in this document, the warning was appropriate. What jumped out at me also.
And
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. David Costa, the Dean and CEO here at Robert.
Mr. Costa, we don't want to hear from you. I was saying, guys, you have to remember that this man is a lawyer. This is a lawyer that reviewed the document from a lawyer's perspective. And for full disclosure, he was also a member of the opposition. For the persons that don't know, that watch me, that are from overseas. Alright? Mr. KD Knight is a lawyer. So him looking at the document from a lawyer's perspective, I want to hear what him say. You understand? And big up Tasha Blake. Big up.
Need to have. Why would one need to have 28 accounts?
28. Brown man, big up.
One would need to have 28 accounts if one was involved in businesses. Now, when I tried to find out who had the 28 accounts, I found out that it was the Prime Minister. You can't run a country and run private business at the same time.
Nah,
one or the other.
Nah,
one or the other. And it is clear that one of the reasons why the country is in the condition it is in now is that sufficient time is not being spent by the chief executive officer to run the country.
Big facts.
These are business ventures. Business ventures. Jumped out at me also that, look, if it is that a prime minister
share the
is
live,
being
guys, share the live.
investigated, how can he be the chief accountable officer for discipline, law and order in a country?
Talk about it.
He cannot occupy the post and find himself in this position and do that which he was elected to do efficiently. Cannot. And therefore a call for his resignation. A call is justified. It's justified. It's justified because of what this report contains, both in terms of the volume of his association with other companies and the allegations contained herein. Had this been the private sector and the private sector officer, that private sector employee would have been sent on leave.
Big fact.
Pending investigation. No private company in Jamaica would have caused someone against whom these allegations have leveled to continue in the highest position in that company. It's untenable. I expect that there will be more press conferences, leader, and I would like to have the opportunity to go through this in greater detail. And if you would be kind enough to invite me to that press conference so I could articulate on aspects of the law. But
guys, hit the like button, man. Come on, man. Hit the like button, man.
Money laundering using what is called layering. It jumps out at me. And those are serious offenses. I do not, for 1 minute, suggest guilt. I don't. But what I suggest is that the process should be allowed to take place and those who are found culpable be held accountable.
Right.
There is, leader, a call for general elections too. Well, let me just say this in closing, that as far as I am concerned, I join that call. And my advice to Mr. Holness is a simple one. I made some inquiries and I'm told that he has a bag. I say to him, start packing because you are going. And if you don't believe me, speak to Mr. Golden, Bruce that is. Pack your bags, put in your clothes and your belongings because you can't stay as Prime Minister of Jamaica because the international reputation of Jamaica is important and you have, by allowing these allegations, brought Jamaica into disrepute.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Horrible, man. Horrible. 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 And look at how the entire JLP is standing behind this man. Shout out to Miss Genesis, my Jamaican sister all the way in Canada. How you doing? Happy birthday. Oh, you're not back? You're really not here? I love it. I love it. Good to see you. Oh, Lord.
Jamaicans at home and abroad, welcome to the People's Parliament, where we will discuss the Integrity Commission's report concerning the Prime Minister's statutory declarations. I am Cleveland Tomlinson, Junior Spokesperson for Finance and Planning. We have assembled a panel who will help to dissect the findings of the report. Joining me are the Leader of Opposition and President of the People's National Party, Mark Golden, Deputy Leader of Opposition Business in the Senate and Opposition Spokesperson for Justice, Senator Donna Scott Motley. Member of Parliament and Opposition Spokesperson for Finance and Planning, Julian Robinson. And Leader of Opposition Business in the Senate and Opposition Spokesperson for National Security, Senator Peter Boynton. Thank you for joining me. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks.
Yes, so originally this discussion was intended to be live, but we're having a pre-recorded forum. We're here where we are. Opposition leader.
We might have come on it around here because my leg
is important.
We felt it's important to break it down, distill it, so that the public has a better idea of what's actually in it. We'd originally planned to do this live on Tuesday afternoon. After we had sent out our notice that we would be doing this, a notice came out saying that Parliament would be convened for Tuesday.
Right.
So we decided to pre-record it.
Oh Lord, my bad, y'all. My goddamn big fingers.
Has a better idea of what's actually in it. We'd originally planned to do this live on Tuesday afternoon. After we had sent out our notice that we would be doing this, a notice came out saying that Parliament would be convened for Tuesday. So we decided to pre-record it because we have to attend Parliament on Tuesday afternoon.
So we are here because we want the people to understand what is contained in the report.
Hi Beverly, good night.
Given the seriousness of what the findings indicate. And we have compiled questions that we have seen on social media.
Lascelles Perkins, first time seeing you. Good night. Welcome to the platform.
And those that have been given to us through WhatsApp messages, etc. Now, on August 31, 2023, Prime Minister Andrew Holness was told in a face-to-face meeting that he was under investigation for possible illicit enrichment for over a year. And he said nothing whilst maintaining he was unaware of the reason for his declaration not being certified.
Thousands of woodworkers are now easily accessing a large collection of DIY woodworking plans that contain
Senator Motley, unaware face meeting.
On August 31st, now, ladies and gentlemen, August 31st, 2023, a face-to-face meeting, right, was told that he was under investigation for illicit enrichment. All right? So that means for over a year, he said nothing, maintaining being unaware that he was under investigation for not declaring his assets. So pay attention to that.
And he said nothing whilst maintaining he was unaware of the reason for his declaration not being certified. Senator Motley, what do you make of this?
Well, let me say first of all, Cleveland, that this is not a happy moment for the People's National Party, and it cannot be a happy moment for the country.
Nobody.
Because it is clear, no matter how you look at it, that the Prime Minister has been unable to be certified for a number of years. And in responding to questions asked about it, he said that he did not know why, that he had provided all the information which was required. Now, as it turns out, we can debate the date. He says he was unaware before the 18th of August, but it was clear from the correspondence and the detail which was in the report that he was aware that he was being investigated. The word illicit enrichment, as you said, was used late, in my view, quite late in the investigation. So, Cleveland, a leader is expected to have a higher ethical standard because he or she will have to set the tone for what is right and wrong in the country.
Exactly.
And I am of the view that Jamaica should be extremely concerned, no matter which political party you support, that our Prime Minister is under investigation.
I agree with this lady. Every time this lady speaks, I don't know, but I've not seen one time she has spoken in recent times that I've disagreed with her. She's on the money. It doesn't matter which side this is on. It does not matter if it's JP or PNP. We are the Jamaican people, and we should require a higher level of standard of the people that is leading us. So it says a lot about you Jamaican people that are out there in the comment section on social media trying to really defend this man and the position that he's in. And you are the ones that give fuel to the fire to the individuals that is in the Jamaica Labour Party, that is in government, that give them the power to have the balls, the cahoots to come out and be so shameful in their stance of supporting Mr. Andrew Holness after these reports have come out. It is a goddamn disgrace we all should be holding down our heads like this. We can't lift up our head proud right now and say we are Jamaican. We cannot do it with the leader of our country under this situation. Come on, man.
I mean, it's very concerning that the decision was communicated in a letter from May 2023. It made reference to Section 14.5 of the Corruption Prevention Act, which is a section that creates the offence of illicit enrichment. A formal notice was, I think, dated August 18, which made specific reference to the elements of that offence, which is that you have assets which can't be supported by your declared income. And that warrants a request to explain yourself as to how you acquired those assets. He has known this from August last year. So for over a year, he has not come to the country and said, I am under investigation for illicit enrichment, even though the illicit 6 and the fact that there were these investigations of 6 parliamentarians, which became 8 later on, was well known and something that was being discussed constantly in the media and elsewhere. So it was, to my mind, a serious deception of the people to pretend or to hold back the fact that you as Prime Minister were one of the persons being investigated. So this is a big problem in terms of his credibility, his trustworthiness, and I don't think that we can have a leader of our country who has lost the trust and confidence of the people. This is why we're doing this, because we feel it's important that the people of Jamaica understand the seriousness of what is before us. And so the necessary decisions can be made to move the country forward.
I want to bring Member of Parliament Julian into the discussion. The IC in the report stated that the Director of Investigation was unable to arrive at a conclusion because he did not have access to Holness's personal expenses over the relevant period, along with unresolved questions around the companies that he is connected to.
Now that is key, because now they are putting a narrative out there about the Integrity Commission that they are taking too long to do their investigation. Well, if Mr. Holness, according to the Integrity Commission, has not given them all the tools they need to come to a proper conclusion, how can you blame the Integrity Commission? Huh? It is about the cooperation of Mr. Holness. Make that make sense?
But what he said specifically is that the Prime Minister refused to provide details of his personal expenses over the period of the investigation.
Wow.
And he could not conclude definitively on the issue of illicit enrichment because he needs to match income to expenditure. So here it is that you have a situation where the investigator is prevented from doing his work because the information he needs from the Prime Minister has not been made available to him.
Yeah.
He goes on further to say that there are sources of funding for the 3 or 4 companies that the Prime Minister is involved with that he cannot ascertain where the funds have come from. And that is the main reason he has made a referral to the Financial Investigation Division, which investigates financial crimes.
One of the assets that you spoke of a while ago was an asset that Holness acquired in 2019. And the source of funding for that asset remains unexplained, Senator Bunting.
This is actually one of the more disturbing features, because what the investigation of the Integrity Commission has revealed is that funds were used from a charity. It's called Positive Foundation, Positive Jamaica Foundation, a charity which, by definition would have charitable purposes. And some funds in the region of approximately $32,000 US were diverted to pay for a bond in the name of Mr. Holness.
Or his company, his personal company.
And I believe at some point it may have been either in his or his personal holding company, which he owns 100%. And it remained in that form for the life of the bond until it was called. And it was only after the bond had been redeemed and that transaction was now, in a sense, extinct.
Is it reasonable?
Closed. That, just allow me to finish, that upon questioning by the Director of Investigation that an attempt was made to repay that charitable foundation. So approximately 4 years had elapsed when the funds from the charitable foundation had been used to partially pay for a bond in the name of or for the benefit of Mr. Holness.
And the interest payments on the bond went into him or his personal company's account.
Wow.
And it's only when the Integrity Commission itself looked into this thing and said, hey, but some of the funding for this.
The interest from that went to his personal account. Damn, listen to that again. A charity,
to partially pay for a bond in the name of or for the benefit of Mr. Holness.
And the interest payments on the bond went into him or his personal company's account. And it's only when the Integrity Commission itself looked into this thing and said, hey, but some of the funding for this, 32,000 US of the 94,000 US cost of the bond, came from a charity which Mr. Holness is very closely associated and is a director. That the necessary rearrangements of the thing were done and the money was returned to the charity. So for several years, he declared that bond as being his or his company's, and he received the payments under that bond for his or his company's account.
So it is not reasonable to assume that the Prime Minister would not have known that the entirety of the funds that were used to pay for the bonds were attributed to him. It's not reasonable.
Now, I'm going to go back to what he just said. Brown man said the best demonstration, don't leave your home until Andrew Holness step down. I wish our Jamaican people was that serious. I wish we were that united on principle. I really wish. 4 years of interest. Exactly. 32,000 US came from the charity. Even if you put back the money in the charity, that is unethical. Why are you using money from your charity for your own personal business? What's the purpose of the charity? For your personal business? Is that what the charity says in the description of what the charity is about? In the bio? Is it that what it says?
Several years, he declared that bond as being his or his company's, and he received the payments under that bond for his or his company's account.
So it is not reasonable to assume that the Prime Minister would not have known that the entirety of the funds that were used to pay for the bonds were attributed to him. It's not reasonable.
Hey, shout out to the people that actually watch the ads. Oh my God, thank you guys so much. Not a lot of people watch the ads. So, you know, the ad revenue really doesn't really add up, to be honest with you. I don't think I've made $1 of ad revenue so far. People really don't watch ads.
I've been getting statements regularly.
But this part that the gentleman just said.
Let me assume that the Prime Minister would not have known that the entirety of the funds that were used to pay for the bonds were attributed to him. It's not reasonable.
He had been getting statements regularly, which showed that the entirety of the amount was in a bond in his name or his company.
And the documentation he signed with the broker that he bought the bond through reflected that him or his company as being the purchaser of the bond. But he made the arrangements for the 32,000 to be paid by the charity into the purchase account to buy the bond.
And leader, this is in the context of legislation which was introduced to prevent exactly that with charities.
So what they're saying is, it's not reasonable to believe that the Prime Minister did not know about this process, as he's claiming, because of all of the documentation that he got.
Something not right, my wisdom warriors. Something is not right. Tell about them.
All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Yeah, man, respect yourselves.
If I was a donor to this charity, and was to learn that the charity's resources, which are intended to be for charitable purposes, helping poor people, helping...
I'm sorry, guys. Sorry for stopping the video again. I did not say this, but for the new people that are coming in, if you want to donate to the platform, the donation link is pinned at the top, and your donation will be read out on the screen while it's live, okay?
Exactly that with charities.
If I was a donor to this charity, and was to learn that the charity's resources, which are intended to be for charitable purposes, helping poor people, helping people who are sick or needy, were being used to purchase a financial asset for the Prime Minister or his personal company, I would be very upset about it. And you know, that I know as a fact that that foundation receives funding not only from Jamaica but from outside as well. So it's a very serious matter.
Right. A part of the discussion that we have noted in the public domain is where the Director of Corruption Prosecution ruled that there is no evidence to support that the Prime Minister would have omitted willfully and intended to omit information from his statutory declarations. So there are two separate investigations that emanated from the Prime Minister's statutory declarations. I want you to discuss that first and tell us what were those two separate investigations. One relates to the omission of information for which the Director of Corruption Prosecution ruled, and then the second investigation was around illicit enrichment.
Well, I would say on the 4 accounts, there were 2 related to his parents put his name on, one with a former constituency manager and another one. Now, it's important to look at the detail. The Director of Investigation said he brought to Mr. Holness's attention on 3 occasions that his name was in fact on the accounts. And in spite of that, Mr. Holness did not declare those as part of his declaration. Secondly, and even more importantly, the Director of Investigation found that in 2 of those accounts, monies were flowing through the accounts from accounts solely controlled by Mr. Holness and 2 accounts solely controlled by Mr. Holness. So in essence, he's saying Mr. Holness said he knew nothing about these accounts, but funds are flowing in the region of millions of dollars. Deposits put in today, taken out the following week. 2 accounts controlled solely by him.
So all you don't know about the accounts, but money is just flowing in and flowing out on a daily basis. What kind of, bro? What? Man, listen.
Stop it. Get some help.
Yo.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
Come on, man. Stop
Ain't
it,
nobody
man.
lying.
Come on, bro.
So the question is, was Mr. Holness being truthful
Exactly.
when he said, well, it's my parents' account and I don't know anything about it?
You know, I'm seeing a comment here on social media that we just bad mind over this side and that we don't want the Prime Minister to
Foolishness.
Is that the case, Comrade Leader?
Well, it's nothing to do with whether the Prime Minister should be rich or not. That's not the issue. The issue is to do with compliance with the requirements of the law relating to integrity. And the statutory declarations that were made in this particular instance omitted certain bank accounts, which at the end of the year, at the date of the declaration, had fairly modest balances, but through which much larger sums had flowed from Mr. Holness's accounts and to Mr. Holness's accounts. And that was a basis upon which the Director of Investigations referred it to the corruption prosecutor to say, was this a deliberate falsehood on the declaration? Ultimately, she ruled that that could not be proved, and there was no prosecution to flow from that. But this was a relatively small matter in the scheme of this report. The bulk of this report is to do with the companies that Mr. Holness operates, has invested in, or is a director of, assets that they have, the very high volume of transactions between them, and the fact that they're filing tax returns which have suggested that they're dormant and they have no taxable transactions at all, and also investments that have been made using the charities money, and we've discussed that already. So there's a lot.
So basically what he just outlined is a statement made that we are bad mind. The Prime Minister is stupid. There is legit reasons why there should be a cause of concern for any well-thinking, fair, trustworthy, not a criminal type of mind Jamaicans. If you are somebody that wants to live in a clean way and not steal and not rob and not be a scammer, you don't have any issue with well-thinking Jamaicans looking at this situation going, wait a minute, what? How he got 28 accounts? Why is he taking money from charities, investing into things and then putting back the money? Why are these entities, these non-profits, showing a nil in investment, but they have all this money coming in? What is going on? Everything he just, I'm gonna play that back. I'm gonna play it back and I'm gonna slow it down so you can hear the answer that he gave. It was such a detailed answer.
Much larger, through which much.
All right. It was such a detailed answer.
Compliance with the requirements.
Here we go.
Comrade Leader?
Let's hear the question.
My parents' account and I don't know anything about it.
You know, I'm seeing a comment here on social media that we just bad mind over this side and that we don't want the Prime Minister to get rich. Is that the case, Comrade Leader?
Well, it's nothing to do with whether the Prime Minister should be rich or not. That's not the issue. The issue is to do with compliance with the requirements of the law relating to integrity and the statutory declarations that were made in this particular instance omitted certain bank accounts which at the end of the year, at the date of the declaration, had fairly modest balances, but through which much larger sums had flowed from Mr. Holness's accounts and to Mr. Holness's accounts. And that was a basis upon which the Director of Investigations referred it to the corruption prosecutor to say, was this a deliberate falsehood on the declaration? Ultimately, she ruled that that could not be proved, and there was no prosecution to flow from that. But this was a relatively small matter in the scheme of this report. The bulk of this report is to do with the companies that Mr. Holness operates, has invested in or is a director of, assets that they have, the very high volume of transactions between them, and the fact that they are filing tax returns which are suggested that they're dormant or they have no taxable transactions at all, and also investments that have been made using the charities money and we've discussed that already. So there's a lot in this report which suggests that we need to get to the bottom of this matter. And the decision of the Integrity Commission is that it should be referred to the FID for further investigation, because as Julian said, they can't take it, the Integrity Commission can't take it any further because Mr. Holness refused to provide information that they required to complete the investigation.
Oh, you hear that?
If you 3,600 transactions passing through 28 bank accounts. Mr. Holness was operating in his own name or the companies that he controlled, 28 bank accounts. And over a 3-year period, 3,600 transactions. This is the Prime Minister who was running the country at the time with some of the most important agencies and public bodies reporting to him.
Yo, I'll find time for running country and I do 4 transactions a day over a period of 4 years. I'll do that.
Yet he was conducting these very elaborate financial arrangements.
That's 1,200 transactions a year, which works out to be about, divided by, if you call it 360, that is what? 3-4 transactions a day.
Well, it's only banking days. The
banking days.
So it's 250. Right. It's 4 transactions.
4 transactions a day. Among the 28 accounts. I mean, most people.
Exactly, Miss Genesis. Exactly.
That is what? 3-4 transactions a day.
Well, it's only banking days. The
banking days.
So it's 250. Right. It's 4 transactions.
4 transactions a day. Among the 28 accounts. I mean, most people have 2, 3, 4 accounts. How you keep track of that is.
What I wanted to respond to, because I think among the transactions, what is interesting is that 20 cardless cash deposits totaling 4,565,000 were made to Holness's JN bank account between May and July of
20 cardless cash deposits totaling 4.5 million were made to the Prime Minister Andrew Holness JN bank account between May and July. January, February, March, April, May. In 2 months, May, June, July. 20 transactions in 2 months. How much that are May, June, July? 3 months. 12. So basically, almost 2 transactions a day to this account. Between that period, well, it's not really 2 transactions a day because it's really, well, it is 15. How much days there in a it's what you have 4 weeks, 5 days out of the week, so that's 20. Damn. Wow, man. Basically 2 transactions a week or more, 2 to 3 transactions a week. Damn.
2020. The depositor is unknown.
Yes.
And what was the explanation given? Reimbursement from Norman Brown, shareholder of Estate Bridge. Senator Boynton, is this a reasonable explanation?
And I can tell you, as someone who has spent a large part of my career in the financial sector, that type of transaction is what bankers or financial sector employees are trained to raise a red flag about. It matches what would be called structuring, where you.
So if they are supposed to raise a red flag, they need to investigate Jamaica National. Who was the individuals overseeing Andrew Holness's account in Jamaica National? How did nobody go red flag, red flag? Interesting.
Break a larger transaction, in this case a total of 4.6 million, into small transactions smaller transactions which are below the reporting threshold. However, one of the things you're also trained to do is to look for what are called high-risk customers. And so, for example, all of us who are in parliament or in politics are referred to as politically exposed persons, or PEPs, and should.
I did a video, guys. Go and watch my video where I broke down how money laundering works in the drug cartel. And also watch the video, man, I'm gonna post the link. Y'all listen to this. That PEP thing, yeah, listen to this.
And so, for example, all of us who are in parliament or in politics are referred to as politically exposed persons, or PEPs, and should attract closer scrutiny than the average customer.
Right.
So this series of transactions would match what is called structuring, and you're trained in your anti-money laundering training, all frontline staff of the banks, the compliance people, etc., to look out for these transactions. Not necessarily illegal, but it's a red flag. And then an obligation would be on the bank to either report it to the FID as a suspicious set of transactions, or to get a plausible explanation from the account holder. In this case, two sources of these series of 20 cash transactions. One was that Mr. Holness's business partner in Estate Bridge and the chairman of UDC owed him, and Housing Association of Jamaica owed him some money. But to me, to suggest that somebody at the level of a chairman of UDC, who I'm certain either has a checkbook or an online banking facility or a banking app, is going to get up from his desk somewhere close to 20 times over the period of 3 months and go to an ATM to lodge cash.
Come on,
it doesn't
man.
seem plausible to me.
Come on, man.
The other source was rent of a Mona property, I think it was referred to. No, unless you're operating some sort of back road operation, usually rent is collected once a month. So that would, I imagine, only account for a small number of the total transactions.
Right.
So even if that were the case, there's still a lot to be explained, and it would, and I can speculate that this is probably one of the reasons why a referral has been made to the FID.
Right.
It's I think that's a fair comment, because every person who is trained in anti-money laundering or sensitized to money laundering would quickly be able to pick up that this is one of those red flag transactions.
No. I see. Let me zoom in a little bit. I want to speak to the Prime Minister of Jamaica. All right. Sir Andrew Holness, sincerely, this is a request from me as a citizen of this country. If in fact that your wealth that you have attained has been done honestly, legally, I think you are in the wrong field of work. I think what you need to do is have a course where you teach every ghetto youth, the same one that you said that you want to be a star, every ghetto youth to be a star, right? I think you need to have a free course in teaching them exactly how do you go about acquiring wealth the way you did in that small space of time. I am very, very serious. If in fact you have done this in a legal manner and you have not done anything illegal, sir, you are an absolute genius, and I want to applaud you. I want to applaud you. I want to applaud you, and I'm definitely asking that you, sir, have a course where you're the professor and you teach us, mere mortals, how to actually achieve what you have achieved so we can increase the wealth or decrease the wealth disparity and have more wealthy young men. Because financial literacy in Jamaica is at an all-time low. So obviously you have figured out something, or you've been taught something that we are not privy to. And we need you to impart that knowledge on the citizens of Jamaica so we all can have the mansion on the hill, sir, that you have had. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
For the reasons that outlined, and because also even with attorneys, there are certain obligations now which you have, because you're supposed to look at a transaction like that and actually report on it. Now, the other transaction which concerned me was the one where the account was opened at NCB. It was opened with no money in it, and I didn't know you could open an account with no money in it. A couple of days later, there was a deposit of a little over $143,000, which came from SSL. And in the
What? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. What? Huh? Say that again, ma'am? I must have not heard you right. Nah, hold up. Did y'all hear that? Was that just me? Nah, I didn't hear that right. Hold up.
Outlined. And because also even with...
Let's go back to this lady
would
right here.
quickly be able to pick up that this is
this is getting heated. Wait a minute. What?
That transaction disturbed me for the reasons that Peter outlined, and because also even with attorneys, there are certain obligations now which you have, because you're supposed to look at a transaction like that and actually report on it. Now, the other transaction which concerned me was the one where the account was opened at NCB. It was opened with no money in it, and I didn't know you could open an account with no money in it. A couple of days later, there was a deposit of a little over $143,000, which came from SSL.
Something not right, my wisdom warriors. Something is not right. Tell about them.
All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Yo, what? So you open an account without... Now, see, again, Mr. Holness, what kind of VIP pass you got? Can you give us the hookup? I have never gone to a bank and been able to open an account without money. And then days later, put how much US in it? How much?
For the reasons that Peter outlined, and because also even with attorneys, there are certain obligations now which you have, because you're supposed to look at a transaction like that and actually report on it. Now, the other transaction which concerned me was the one where the account was opened at NCB. It was opened with no money in it, and I didn't know you could open an account.
Yo, me I go down at NCB tomorrow. I go open my account, and if them ask me for no money, me I go say, oh, you make the Prime Minister open one without money. Why difference between the Prime Minister and me? Isn't he a citizen of this country and the laws apply to him? Me need to open my account down at NCB. Yes.
Account with no money in it. A couple of days later, there was a deposit of a little over $143,000, which came from SSL. And in the context of the discussions which we have been having about SSL, I believe that the Prime Minister needs to address this and explain how and why that money came into his account from SSL. It was deeply concerning to me, and I'm sure that it must be deeply concerning to all the people who not only lost money, but know people who lost money. And you know the number one concern is what happened to bold money.
No, on the ear said the SSL thing. All of a sudden, allegedly, a 30 million I come to go pay back people. All of a sudden. Just all of a sudden. You can't make this up, you know?
Now, I'm not casting any aspersions on the situation. I'm just simply saying that the Prime Minister has to have a level of political sensitivity, and he has a duty to come to the country and explain some of these transactions to which we have been alerted by this report.
And Comrade Leader, at the press conference that was held last week, you raised the issue of tax compliance and why it is troubling. For our viewers who might not have read the report or understand the issues surrounding tax compliance, I want you to explain it for them and why it's a problem.
Well, the report indicates that the tax returns for Mr. Holness's private companies. One called Imperium that he owns 100% of, and the others that are referred to in the report. For the 2021 year of assessment financial year, they filed nil returns, meaning that they had no tax. They declared no taxable income and no taxable expenses, tax deductible expenses.
Sorry about that, y'all. I'm just trying to take Mr. Holness off the screen so you can see it clearly. It says tax compliance. The filing of the nil returns by Prime Minister Andrew Holness companies indicating that they had no taxable income or expenses when the companies had sustainable income and expenses. So you have sustainable income and expenses, but no tax returns, no filings of tax. You file a nil. Wow. Okay.
For the 2021 year of assessment financial year, they filed nil returns, meaning that they had no tax. They declared no taxable income and no taxable expenses, tax deductible expenses. Now, that the report says is inconsistent with the information provided to the Integrity Commission by Mr. Holness, which shows that these companies were in fact very active. They had receipts, they had expenditures. As I've said, over 400 million of transactions over the period was passing between these companies, to and fro.
400 million.
So, and the report makes specific reference to items of income that were earned during the period. So the report makes reference to a provision in the Income Tax Act, which makes it a criminal offense not to accurately report one's taxable income when you're filing returns. So this is another very serious matter. You know, the Prime Minister is the head of the government, and you should not be filing tax returns which are not consistent with the reality of the transactions of those companies. So this is a big issue as well.
Some of the concerns that we have seen in the public domain is that these two institutions to which the report from the Integrity Commission is referred to, Tax Administration Jamaica and the Financial Investigation Division, they both fall under the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. The Minister reports to the Prime Minister. There's a sense of public concern that there might be interference or obstruction of the investigation. Senator Bunting, is that a legitimate position for members of the public to take?
Absolutely. The Prime Minister uses his own standard.
Guys, I apologize. I apologize. Damn.
When his ministers got into trouble, Wheatley, Royal Reed,
Floyd Green.
Floyd. Well, no.
Floyd was a little different.
That was a little different. He got into trouble.
He was put in
St. Elizabeth. He was put in the Nautical.
J.C. Hutchinson.
He told them they had to step aside. They had to leave the cabinet because it would not have been appropriate for them to remain and perhaps and have the risk or the perception that they could obstruct the investigation. No.
Share the live, guys. Share the live with 10 people. Share the live.
There's no minister in a stronger position to obstruct an investigation than the Prime Minister himself. He, for example, is going to determine who the replacement Minister of Finance will be. He, under whose portfolio the FID falls.
Right.
The FID right now does not have a permanent chief technical director, I believe the post is called, or technical director. The head of the FID was Selvin Hay, who retired a couple months ago. So it only has an acting head now.
What?
So there is not even any security of tenure for who is there. So the Minister of Finance is going to be very carefully selected. Let me just say, we can expect that he or she will be very carefully selected. But I think the public is right to be concerned. I think any well-thinking person would be concerned. You cannot investigate yourself, or you cannot oversee those who are investigating you.
Exactly.
That's just a
big
basic
conflict of interest.
And we've seen over and over again where persons, whether in the private or public sector, that find themselves in such a position, have to step aside to allow the investigation to be complete.
Some contend that he has not broken any code of ethics and therefore he should not step aside. In fact, some go as far as to say that he has been vindicated, given that the Integrity Commission engaged an international forensic accounting firm. They found nothing.
That's not true.
That's what he said.
True.
So I want you to engage
No,
with that.
they have. In fact, I would say the fact that the report has not been released, in my view, indicates to me that there may be potential down the road for the possibility of prosecution. And in any investigation, if you have that kind of information, you're not going to put it in the public domain. And we have to, and in fact, I think, again, it is in support of the Director of Investigation saying, let us refer to the FID. And I'm sure in their exchange of information, they have an MOU that they will provide as much information to the FID so that FID can come to a conclusion about
and
illicit
they're not restricted to providing information in the public report. Their MOU allows them to exchange the report of the forensic investigator, anything else that they have.
Yeah. And it may well be that a lot of the information that we have here on the details of the transactions that the companies have entered into, that the forensic investigation that was done was helpful in getting some of this information. But as has been said, it's not sufficient to conclude the investigation, and it needs to be concluded. Why? Because the Prime Minister remains under a cloud. His Integrity Commission statutory declarations from 2021 onwards have not been certified, and the report indicates that they cannot be certified until the Integrity Commission is satisfied that they are in order. So it's very important that this matter be allowed to come to a conclusion, and I think it's reprehensible, the initial responses that we're hearing from the government side suggesting that, as far as they're concerned, this matter is at an end, it should not be referred any further and so on. They're going to leave the Prime Minister under a cloud unless they let this matter be followed through to its end. And so I don't think that their responses really are helpful to his situation at all.
To me, they should be asking everybody to act hastily,
yes,
especially if they believe in his innocence, so that he can be cleared.
There is conflict of interest. So the Prime Minister appointed his business partner and co-investor in his real estate company, Norman Brown, to the chairmanship of UDC and the Housing Association of Jamaica, which both, as Senator Bunting said, fall under the Prime Minister's portfolio.
Red flag.
Why is there a conflict here?
Let's just say the UDC and HAJ are two of the biggest public sector agencies in terms of expenditures, right? They spend billions of dollars. They're also significantly in the business of construction, housing, real estate development, which is the same type of activity that the Prime Minister is in, right? So the significant conflict is that you're appointing your business partner to head these two entities. They're engaging contractors, spending billions of dollars, and your private company is also doing the same thing. It is a significant conflict.
Big conflict.
And that individual, Marky, there's been no adverse.
The potential of corruption in that situation is immense. There is, as a matter of fact, there is no boundary to the amount of corruption that can yield from that situation. Your business partner is controlling those, is the chairman of those two entities that billions of dollars go through, that contract delegation goes through. Man, listen, that is woo, wow.
In relation to his conduct in either of the entities at this point in time. But frankly, that person should not be in that position.
Exactly.
He should remove himself so that there is no conflict at all.
He should be removed.
And it shouldn't even come to this. The fact of the matter is that, 18 Degrees North highlighted this a couple months ago of his directorship in these companies and the conflict with his business relationship with the Prime Minister.
Mm-hmm.
He should have removed himself long ago.
And why is he still there? Why has the Prime Minister not removed him? You see how barefaced these people are in their way of operating? My Jamaican people, it is time for us to act. It is time for us to act in a way that really, really sends a strong message. And I'm not talking about no violence. I'm talking about intelligently acting. Andrew Holness must resign by the order of the people of Jamaica. We don't care about what those people voted. They are a small number. You, compared to the rest of us, this is them. In between my finger right here. You can't even see it. Exactly.
Conflict of interest is that
conflict with his business relationship with the Prime Minister. He should have removed himself long ago.
A prevailing view that exists on this particular matter of conflict of interest is that in as much as the Integrity Commission has not laid a charge, so there's this issue of charge. So people see that once there's no charge being laid, then nothing is wrong. Tell me why the moral objection is still in place, still intact, still sound, even if there is no charge being brought.
It's interesting. The Integrity Commission developed a code of conduct for politicians. And in hindsight, it's instructive that every PNP member of Parliament signed that at the invitation of the leader of the opposition. Not a single member of the JLP signed that. And this code of conduct was largely based on the Nolan principles.
7 principles of good governance.
Of good governance, widely accepted. There is nothing there that you could think of any well-thinking person would hesitate to sign, but yet no one has signed it. But the reason that these principles were developed was that for your leaders, you need a higher bar than criminal conduct. If those who say, well, they're not charged criminally, therefore everything is all right, then we've really hit rock bottom. And as the lawyers could explain, because you're not able to prove a criminal charge doesn't necessarily mean the person is innocent. It just means the prosecution cannot prove it. So they attempt to set these principles, which are at a much higher level, for you to avoid conflicts of interest, for you to conduct yourselves in such a way that you are not preferring your own wealth, your own balance sheet at the denial of the benefit to the taxpayers and so on. So I think it is really shameful that people are saying because we don't have a criminal conviction then everything is okay.
Shameful, man, for real, man.
Okay. This is not a situation where the Prime Minister has been held to have not acted improperly. What they've said is that there's enough here that it warrants another agency with the necessary powers of investigation to take it to its logical conclusion. They need to get involved. So that is a cloud that the Prime Minister is operating under now.
It is very interesting that Senator Bunting raised the Nolan's principles of conduct for public officials. I note where the report said that some of the findings are antithetical to those principles. Comrade Leader, what happened to the impeachment bill that would seek to remove public officials who contravene these principles of good conduct in office?
It's a sad story. Under Bruce Golding, when he was Prime Minister, an impeachment bill was tabled. I think it was in 2010 or thereabouts. It wasn't pursued.
Excuse me.
And many years later, in 2001, I think it was, when we had the incident with a member of Parliament who was caught on video assaulting a female with a stool. And there was 2021. There was a situation of the entire society was in uproar about this, and yet nothing could be done about it in order to ensure accountability. So I reviewed the bill that had been prepared by Bruce Golding, and I did some adjustments to make it more comprehensive so that it could capture not just the conduct in Parliament itself, but conduct by any parliamentarian that brings the office of a parliamentarian into disrepute. And I tabled it as a private member's bill. The JLP in their 2016 manifesto said they would be passing impeachment legislation, but they have not allowed this bill to go forward. I wanted it to be sent to a joint select committee so that stakeholders in and outside of Parliament could weigh in on it, and we could come up with, tweak it to the extent necessary to make it something that would really enhance the governance and the accountability of public officials. It has not been allowed to go forward. And in fact, in the Constitutional Reform Committee report, which our representatives did not sign, they have recommended that we not have an impeachment provision in our Constitution. And the majority on that committee are persons who were appointed by the government. So their view on this has been flip-flopping, and it has been inconsistent, and we feel it is necessary that there must be something in the Constitution that would deal with delinquent behavior by parliamentarians, elected officials or appointed senators, so that if their conduct brings their office into disrepute, something can be done about it.
So
there has to be checks and balances, basically. There has to be. We need the impeachment clause to be there, bro. We need to have harsh punishments for politicians because they have a larger responsibility than regular citizens. It's like, do you know what God would do to a pastor that leads the sheep, which is the people, astray and teach them wrong? Do you know what God would do to a person like that? Do you know what God would do to an individual that is a false prophet? Do you know what these are people that have a higher responsibility. The punishment, ladies and gentlemen, would not just be the punishment they get after death, the physical death, but the punishment they would get is in life leading up to that point. And this is why Andrew Holness and the prophets have spoken on what God is going to do to Andrew Holness because of what he has done to the people of this country. He knows what he has done. We don't need to go over that, right? He knows what he has done, all right? He knows what he has done. He knows what he has signed off on. He knows what he has done. Things that are not of God. All right? A lot of you labor rights, y'all don't even know they signed a Samoa agreement and what that means. Everything that's going on in America is coming to Jamaica. Yeah, we've been trying to tell you. We show you the evidence. Do you guys watch? Do you guys listen? Do you guys read? I don't know. Are you guys okay with it? I don't know. But again, not of God. This is why this country and this prime minister is going to be punished. Under God. I'm telling you. Everything that's happening to him, God is doing it. God is lifting up the skirt of iniquity that he is involved in. And there's more to come. So fasten your seatbelts. This is not no 9-day wonder, like I hear a lot of labor rights saying in the streets and on social media. No. Nah, boo-boo. No, boo-boo.
PNP government will pass the impeachment bill in Parliament.
Yes, we will be pursuing it, and we hope that we can get consensus around it, because I don't personally believe that the constitutional amendments that don't enjoy bipartisan consensus is not the way to go. We've always proceeded on the basis of consensus around constitutional change. Now, this is a position that the JLP had been putting forward before, that they want to see impeachment happen. I'm hoping that they will revise their current view and we'll be able to move forward with consensus on this thing. And I hope that society as a whole will get behind it. But we will be pursuing it.
On the matter of revision, the Prime Minister has called for a revision of the Integrity Commissions Act. What is the opposition's position on that?
Well, we are presently reviewing, we have a joint select committee which is reviewing the Integrity Commission Act. We have not concluded those deliberations. So I personally was a little taken aback when he says, I will change the law, because we are contemplating what sort of changes we would want to see in the legislation. Listen, Cleveland, let's be clear. Nobody likes to complete a statutory declaration. It is extremely invasive. There are things that you will forget because they happened a long time ago before you became a parliamentarian, and you might just not recall some of the things. It's an uncomfortable position to be in, and an uncomfortable position for your family to be in, because they come under scrutiny simply because they are your family, not because they are involved in politics. But you see,
I really like that lady. That's a fair statement. I like that.
This country needs to be aware that they are the ones that determine what kind of Jamaica we have. That is why it disturbs me when you say that there are people who think that nothing has happened at all. If we don't begin to hold our leaders to a higher standard of accountability, all we will have is a declining sense of morality. The public needs to get engaged in reforming this country in the way that it needs to be done. And their contribution will be to say, no, we're not putting up with this.
I'm very suspicious of the motivations of the government in relation to the Integrity Commission, because their desires to amend it.
I need to hear what this lady is saying again.
That they because it's not or you became invasive.
No, this
I
whole part
personally
right
was a
here.
little taken aback when he says, I will change the law, because we are contemplating what sort of changes we would want to see in the legislation. Listen, Cleveland, let's be clear. Nobody likes to complete a statutory declaration. It is extremely invasive. There are things that you will forget because they happened a long time ago before you became a parliamentarian, and you might just not recall some of the things. It's an uncomfortable position to be in, and an uncomfortable position for your family to be in, because they come under scrutiny simply because they are your family, not because they are involved in politics. But you see, this country needs to be aware that they are the ones that determine what kind of Jamaica we have. And that is why it disturbs me when you say that there are people who think that nothing has happened at all. If we don't begin to hold our leaders to a higher standard of accountability, all we will have is a declining sense of morality. The public needs to get engaged in reforming this country in the way that it needs to be done. And their contribution will be to say, no, we're not putting up with this.
I'm very suspicious of the motivations of the government in relation to the Integrity Commission, because their desires to amend it
is to weaken it
as a reflex to reports which are adverse to them. So they clearly are motivated to dismantle it, neuter it, and make it as ineffective as possible. I'm in favor of nurturing that institution and making it more effective. And the Integrity Commission itself, in its annual reports, have pointed out things that they would like to see adjusted in the legislation. I'm in favor of a review of the legislation. I'm in favor of making it more cohesive, more effective. I am not in favor of undermining the effectiveness of the Integrity Commission. Corruption is a big problem in the country.
Thank
And
you.
it flows into the crime and violence problems that we have.
Exactly.
Lack of trust of the people in their elected
Exactly.
officials and so on. We need to clean up Jamaica.
Yes.
And we need to clean up public life. And the Integrity Commission is an important part of doing that.
Yes.
So any amendments which are motivated by an intent to make it less effective, ineffective, new to it, dismantle it, do not have our support.
The FID is a member of what's called the Egmont Group. This is international grouping of financial intelligence units, and they share financial intelligence. So just imagine that every other country who is a member of this Egmont Group, they will now be looking into the financial intelligence, or they will have the capabilities to look into the financial information and other information which may not be set out here, but which the FID will have to pursue. And the FID might very well be asking for their cooperation. Now, is this really a process that you want to put the country through while the Prime Minister is being examined? Perhaps not just by our own FID, but other members of other financial intelligence units across the world.
Frankly, the whole situation that we're faced, where an agency of government that falls under the Ministry of Finance, two agencies as we pointed out, Tax Administration Jamaica and the Financial Investigations Division, are being asked to investigate the Prime Minister and companies that he is associated with, is an untenable situation for the country to go through. How can a Minister of Finance be comfortable that his boss is being investigated and his agencies that
No wonder Nigel Clark resigned. No wonder Nigel Clark run. Nigel Clark smell the rat, you know. Nigel Clark smell the rotted. That's one next reason, because Nigel Clark a part of him responsible for the FDI and him answer to Andrew Holness. So Nigel Clark would have investigate Andrew Holness with the FDI. Hey, what a bangarang. What a bangarang.
Embarrassing.
He needs some milk.
that report to him or her have to be investigating the Prime Minister. It is unheard of, and it is not something which Jamaica has ever had to deal with before, and I don't think it's right that the country should be put through this.
Yeah.
There should be elections, and the country should be given the opportunity to choose a government in light of what is going on.
I totally agree.
Where do we go from here? What will be the disposition of the opposition with respect to this investigation? What we have seen on social media is that persons are calling on the opposition to table a motion of no confidence to trigger a debate in Parliament. Is that something that the opposition is willing to do, has considered?
We did it in relation to the situation out of the 2010 incursion and what followed from that. So it's not something that we are not familiar with. And so it is something that we are considering, yes.
We have an obligation, and I believe others in media, etc., to really break it down into bite-sized portions and just take one thing at a time. Just take positive media solutions, for example, which arose from some old equipment that the Prime Minister had, some cameras and drones and stuff that were years old, that he valued at $2.5 million. But the company was formed in 2020. By 2021, that $2.5 million was translating into over 20 million of revenues. But that same company was able between 2021 and 22 to be transferring $72 million to Imperium. That same company, the secretary, Mark Hazan, told 18 Degrees North that he knew nothing about it. He knew nothing about it. That was the secretary of the company, who is shown to have contributed 2.1 million as a shareholder contribution, even though he owns one share. And Imperium, which owns 99 shares, their shareholder contribution was 2.9 million. So Mr. Hazan, although he says he knows nothing about it, based on what positive media has presented to the Integrity Commission, he has paid a huge premium for his one share. So a lot of these things just don't make
no sense. Exactly.
Sense.
And the clients of positive media that from which they've earned this revenue were the Jamaica Labour Party,
his constituency,
Mr. Holness' constituency organization,
and one very curious company called Green Emerald. There's a lot more can be said about.
A big question for the Integrity Commission was the income generating capacity of these entities to have the sums of funds in their accounts as reflected. But the people want to know, if the opposition will be sitting in Parliament with the Prime Minister, noting what the Prime Minister said when he was opposition leader regarding the outcome of the investigation into then Minister of State Richard Azan, where he said that the opposition will not sit in Parliament with someone who has been the subject of adverse findings from a report.
The contractor general.
Will the opposition be doing the same?
Our obligation as members of Parliament is to attend Parliament and represent persons who elected us. So any decision not to attend Parliament on any prolonged basis would be a very serious one, and we would have to consider that very carefully. At this point in time, all options are open. We haven't come to any final decisions on any of those issues. We've been trying to digest the report. We've been trying to explain to Jamaica what the report says, and we've been having dialogue with other stakeholders in the society so that, to see what their positions on the matter will be. But clearly this is a new era for Jamaica. We're on uncharted waters.
Yes.
And we need to, as an opposition, we need to assert ourselves appropriately so that there is accountability and that the people of Jamaica's interests are protected. And that's what we will be doing. High standards of ethics and moral conduct are expected of the leaders of the country. And our system depends on our leaders behaving in accordance with those standards. And where you have a report from the agency that has been established to ensure integrity in public life and to expose corruption, delivering a report like this, which has serious issues that have come out of it, which are unresolved, it means that Jamaica needs to draw brakes. There needs to be a fundamental change at this point in time. And that change is either the calling of elections to allow the people of Jamaica to decide who they want to govern them going forward, given the mess that we're now in with this, or the Prime Minister himself stepping down. It's one or the other. And I wait to hear which one it will be.
There you have it, the People's Parliament. I want to thank our panelists for joining us to dissect the Integrity Commission's report concerning the Prime.
Man, oh man. Man, oh man. That is a lot to digest. That is a lot to digest. All the issues that they actually raised in that situation is a lot to digest. I don't know if anybody wants to call it, but the lines are now open. Anybody want to call in and give their give us their take on it. If not, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. This has been the Court of Public Opinion, ladies and gentlemen. Right? This has been the Court of Public Opinion. Oh my! There is something that I forgot. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen. How comes they never remind me? Oh no, if you do me that. Wanna see something there on the screen. Wanna see my brethren there on the screen. Jamaica Parliament today. Let me find that. That was 7 days ago. That's about today. Integrity Commission Oversight Committee. All of these music. Why not tell them? Let's be careful in that, guys. Let me see if we can find this thing. Oh yes, I found it. When name Daryl Voss said something today, may I tell you, he rubbed me wrong way. Me not lie. He rubbed me the wrong way, ladies and gentlemen. Can't lie to you. Oh, this is what them talk about, so then they reject. Me don't want to hear that. That's a foolishness. I don't want to hear that. Let me share my screen and show you what I go on. Alright. Let me share my screen and show you what's going on. I'm looking for Daryl Voss. One of the statements that he made. We got Mystic Sensation. House of Representative meeting. Good. This is it right here. Hey, me not lie. People, is it just me? Miss Juliet Holness, she looks stressed out. She looks stressed out, people.
4 reconditioned buses that will improve the efficiency significantly. Dispatch bus routes will be enhanced. The Rockport and Spanish Town depots can increase the number of...
Yo, is it just me or is the audio really, really low? Goodness gracious. Y'all give me a second, man. Damn. I gotta turn up my desktop audio. Jesus Christ. Nah, bro, that's crazy. That is so low. I'ma turn up, man. I'ma probably turn down my music too. Just to hear this dude. That's insane. Let's get back to it.
Buses on critical routes, including Spanish Town to Halfway Tree, Spanish Town to downtown Kingston, Greater Portmore to Halfway Tree and downtown Kingston, Price Right to downtown Kingston, Chancery Street to downtown Kingston, Spanish Town to Crossroads, Border and above Rocks to Templar Hall, downtown Kingston to Bull Bay, downtown Kingston to Norman Manley International Airport and Port Royal, Harbour View to downtown Kingston, and downtown Kingston to Gordon Town. Madam Speaker, with the introduction of 17 articulated buses that are being dispatched from the Spanish Town depot, designed to transport larger number of passengers efficiently at the Halfway Tree Transport Center and the JUTC downtown hub, the weight of passengers will be significantly reduced. Madam Mr. Speaker, I must remind my colleagues in this honorable house and those that are watching that in December 2023, I made a plea asking the commuters to bear with me and be patient and give me 6 months to be able to show them the improved service. And I stand here proud to say that commitment promised, commitment delivered.
I'm trying to find a specific part that he said.
In 2024, we have increased our daily bus availability to 260 and the passenger lift has surged to over 2.4 million passengers. Madam, Mr. Speaker, this increase in month of September 24.
Damn, the internet is giving me problems.
Policy. The initial deposit of $990 million for the buses, Madam Speaker, will be paid over in the fourth quarter of 24-25 financial year. Why is this significant, Madam Speaker? Because it means that if we pay the deposit in this side of the fiscal year and put the buses in production, we will have those 100 buses here the same time as the first 100, which will be approximately between June and July 2025. Again, just in time for the next round of back to school, Madam Speaker.
Okay.
In December 2023, when I said the 100 new buses were coming, they doubted it was possible. Some said it could not be done in 6 months. Working alongside with the Ministry of Finance and members of my ministry team, they said it was a dream. But guess what, Madam Speaker? This is part of the dream team. Madam Speaker, we are now in the month of September, and I say to all Jamaican commuters, more is in store. The government is not only committing to the purchase of another 100 new buses, but it's also looking to expand routes based on improvement of infrastructure that has been happening in terms of the South Coast Highway Improvement Project and, of course, the expansion of the East-West Highway all the way to Williamsfield. Madam Speaker, this will be the first time since 2014 that the JUTC has had an increase in its fleet for 3 consecutive years. We have stemmed the decline in 2023 and will continue increasing the fleet and the operations of the JUTC into 2025. Madam Speaker, these enhancements reflect this government's commitment to providing reliable, safe, and environmentally friendly public transportation options for all Jamaica. By addressing service gaps and modernizing our fleet, we are setting the stage for a more efficient transit system that benefits both our citizens and the economy. In closing, let me just say also that in relation to the issue of fuel theft, which has been a perennial problem, obviously transitioning into CNG buses and then into electric buses, that will definitely do a good job in stemming that situation. And most importantly, the other situation that faces us in relation to the collection of fares, and some fare going into the coffers of the government and some elsewhere. Again, we are committing to go cashless, fully cashless, by January 2025, and that again will obviously make it more convenient for commuters and of course improve the efficiency of the JUTC.
Uno hear that? Uno hear that? Darrell Vaz just said they are committed to go fully cashless by 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, uno start store food, uno start store water like crazy. If uno no plan to take this nits, uno start store food and water because uno can't go traveling in the city. And if it drive at them, We have them taxi. Feel like say, at some point in this thing, them now get snuff out. Them make a sad mistake. People, me want to pay attention and listen what the man say again. This catch me ears today. Me wake up just in time for hear him say it. I'm going to listen for about 5 minutes and listen to this.
System that benefits both our citizens and the economy. In closing, let me just say also that in relation to the issue of fuel theft, which has been a perennial problem, obviously transitioning into CNG buses and then into electric buses, that will definitely do a good job in stemming that situation. And most importantly, the other situation that faces us in relation to the collection of fares, and some fare going into the coffers of the government and some elsewhere. Again, we are committing to go cashless, fully cashless, by January 2025, and that will obviously make it more convenient for commuters and, of course, improve the efficiency of the JUTC. As I
People, wanna see how long talking my TV I want to know. Wanna see how long talking my TV I want to know. Wanna remember where Colonel Charles Jr. said what they say, you will have no choice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a point for the people that are very, very serious about not being a part of the devil system, not being a part of the system of the mark of the beast. You cannot be compliant. You cannot serve two masters. It's either you serve God or you serve his system. So when they tell you say you have to comply, well, it's time to get creative, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for ban with belly. It's time for store food. Because if them are go cashless and then now use cash no more, cash is not an option. It is time now to come together and share, ladies and gentlemen. Alright? You heard it from the horse's mouth. That's what them are plan for do. At least in the bus system. And if them have it in the bus system, where else I think it's gonna come? They are slowly rolling this thing out. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to prepare. It is time to repent. It is time to pray. Pray, repent, and prepare. The devil system is coming. And these dudes, all of them in the JLP, are right behind it. I would love to ask Mark Golding about his position on a fully cashless Jamaica. Is he in support of this? I would also love to ask Mark Golding what is his position. Well, I shouldn't even ask that. Because I think Mark Golding carried them to court about this ID thing. Yes, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Mark Golding carry them to court about this ID thing? Say it violates their constitutional rights. Someone need to ask him nothing about that. But more ask him about the Samoa agreement. More ask him when think about the Samoa agreement if he was, his government was okay with the signing of the Samoa agreement by the JLP. I really want to know. I want to know these things. You know, I just have a lot of questions. But only hear from the horse's mouth, ladies and gentlemen. You won't be able to travel on these buses. Because they're going to go fully cashless, and eventually that means you're going to need to have the ID. Eventually. Hey! What a banger! What a bangarang. I want to think in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen, about that one. Because as you can see and hear, the plans and the plot of the enemy is in full swing by this government. This has been the court of public opinion. Alright? Have a good night. And I've been 2 hours on the dot. I feel so proud of myself, you see. because I have to go to work now. I'm already dressed, guys. I'm just gonna put my stuff down, take down my computer, put it over there, and I'm heading out. Alright. Right, did OBS now work? Damn, my internet bugging. Oh man. Hey man. Salute to y'all. Catch the replay. At least I recorded it. I'm gonna post it too. I'm gonna post it right goddamn now. I'm gonna post it right goddamn now too.